So Black Ops 6 multiplayer gameplay has been leaked earlier today, and there was a lot of stuff shown off. This leaker somehow got some jailbroken PlayStation 4 and was able to get into the actual beta build itself. And I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be the same build of the beta that we're going to play this August later in the month, or if it's something, a bit older. I have no idea, but there was a lot of gameplay there. There was a lot of stuff that was leaked. A lot of it has been taken down now. You can try searching for it, but a lot of it got DMCA'd pretty fast by Activision. So of course, I'm not going to be posting any of that stuff here because my channel will likely get a strike and I'm not trying to deal with that. So for this video, all I want to do is just talk about these leaks, talk about my thoughts on them, go over what was actually in the leaks themselves in case you didn't see any of the leaks. I did see pretty much everything that was leaked. I got a good look at them, so it's all within my memory now. And let's get through it, starting off with the maps. There was roughly 20 map code names that were leaked. We only got actual map names for about 9 of them, and some of the other ones we can kind of speculate what the actual map name would be just based on the fact that some of these we do believe are actual remasters. And that's actually what I wanted to touch on first, were these map remakes / remasters, and let's list them off. So first of all, we have Hacienda from Black Ops 4. Now, of course, these are all subject to change because some of these could just be code names. Maybe they didn't actually mean to have them relate to these maps whatsoever, but let's just go through them regardless. But like I said, don't hold me to it. Don't hold any leakers to it. It's not guaranteed these are going to show up in this game, but it is highly likely. So like I said, Hacienda from Black Ops 4. If you haven't played Black Ops 4, let me just say this map is incredible. It is one of the best maps in the game. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to see it in this game. Hopefully it actually ends up being in the game, because like I said, it's a great map. We also have Fringe from Black Ops 3, which this one kind of blows my mind because we have never seen an exosuit map remastered into a boots on the ground Call of Duty game. There's also Yemen from Black Ops 2, which this one was rumored to return in Black Ops Cold War actually, and it just never did. So either they did actually plan to have this in Cold War's later seasons and then it just never ended up happening, and then they kind of just push it over to Black Ops 6, or perhaps those leaks were never true and it was always going to come to Black Ops 6. I have no idea, but regardless, Yemen seems to be returning from Black Ops 2 into Black Ops 6. There's also Firing Range, which this one is kind of just a given at this point. Firing Range is basically another Nuketown to the Black Ops series. It's been in almost every single, actually, yeah, it's been in every single one except for Black Ops Cold War, right? So I expected to see this come back, and I'm totally fine with it because Firing Range is an incredible map. WMD seems to be returning, which I don't love this map. I think it's fine. I'm not really that crazy on it. It did return in Black Ops 4 as well as Black Ops Cold War, I believe. So, I mean, sure, I guess I'm kind of looking forward to it, but not by a lot. Then there's Dig, which is interesting that they use the name Dig rather than using the original name of the map, which is Courtyard from World at War. And of course, Dig was the remake of Courtyard in Black Ops 2. So I guess they're just bringing this map back, which I'm totally fine with that because I actually think this is one of the best maps in World at War. And of course, also one of the best maps in Black Ops 2 since they did bring it over into that game. And lastly, Nuketown. Obviously, it's in every Black Ops game. We all expected this. This isn't even a new leak, really. It's just what we expect. And next I want to talk about the strike maps because I'm actually really worried about these strike maps now that we learned more about them. So there was actually some leaked images of some of these strike maps, and it appears that some of them will be 100% indoors, at least based on the photos. Now I could be completely wrong. Maybe there's going to be glass ceilings and this is not really going to be a problem. But my assumption based on the fact that some of these strike maps seem to be all indoors is the fact that they're probably going to be more similar to the gunfight maps from Black Ops Cold War, which were usable in Face-Off as well as in Gunfight. And that's not what I want at all, because what they ended up doing with that mode was making it so you can't use score streaks in that mode. And if you guys know me, I made a video about it a couple weeks ago about how much I just love score streaks in Call of Duty and how important they are, the fact that I want looping to return. That's how much I care about score streaks. Not being able to use score streaks on the strike maps would kind of suck. Because strike maps to me are just meant to be small maps, right? That's kind of what the whole idea of them are. And I love how Modern Warfare 3's been handling smaller maps where they have a whole playlist full of them. And there's 8 of them at this point, maybe 9 or 10. They've been doing a lot of small maps in that game. And you can use score streaks on all of them. They're all usable. You can just rain hell on enemies with as many streaks as you want, which is exactly what I love about Call of Duty. I have no problem if they throw in a separate playlist for that, maybe a, face-off, no streak mode or something. That would be fine. If they want to let players play these maps with no streaks, cool. I'm all right with that. but I want an option to play them with streaks as well. So if they do a thing where some of the maps are indoors, hopefully there's ceilings that are glass ceilings and you can just shoot through them with your streaks, or at the very least, let it be so only like indoor streaks are usable. So maybe you just can't use like chopper gunners and stuff like that, but you can still use UAVs, you can still use sentry guns, you can still use anything that you can just place indoors, just no like helicopters and stuff that goes above air. That would be a decent compromise, at least in my opinion. And then maybe if it's a map that's outdoors, because some of them are probably going to be outdoors. I'm sure not all of the gunfight maps are going to be indoors. The ones that are outdoors, when you're playing 6v6 on them, just let us use streaks. I don't see no reason not to. I really hope Treyarch is not kind of changing heart about streaks, because they used to be the people who thought streaks were like the best part of Call of Duty and they should just be the most fun things possible and just rain down on enemies as much as possible. But ever since Cold War, they've kind of been like nerfing streaks a bit, and I don't really understand that new philosophy. I really don't want to see them go in that direction. Next up, I want to talk about the user interface, which is of course involving all the menus, and that looks pretty damn good, except for some things. There are still a lot of traces of the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, UI design that I really just don't like, whether it's in the menus or the settings or the created class. There's just a little bit left over there, and I hope that's just leftover assets. Maybe they're still working on changing it, and hopefully the full game's going to be completely different. But there are some things that they did change that I'm very happy about. For example, they did go back to actually making so the attachments, when they appear on the screen in your created class, they're actually vertical rather than horizontal, because obviously that's one of the biggest issues with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 is having to scroll through this just endless list of horizontal just bullshit attachments. It's just so frustrating to just scroll through them because you can't see all of them on the screen at the same time, and it's hard to make a decision when you can't see all of them at the screen at the same time. But in these menus for Black Ops 6, you can see the attachments, all of them on the screen pretty much at the same time, unless there's like a lot of options. But it appears in Black Ops 6, at least from the beta footage, there's not going to be that many attachments per category. Like for example, some of the footage showed the sniper attachments and there was like 4 total muzzles. That's great. Like that's a great amount. That's not too much. That's not making the game, overstuffed with a million attachments. It's a perfect amount. So hopefully they keep it that way. Maybe the only additional ones would be like the aftermarket parts, but by default, we only really need like 4 or 5 items per like category. That's perfectly fine to me. The menu music for the multiplayer also leaked because that was a part of the footage. And again, I can't show you it here in this video, but it sounds amazing. Reminds me a lot of the Black Ops 2's multiplayer menu music, which is exactly what I was hoping for. And of course, only time will tell if it's gonna have that iconicism that most Black Ops menu themes tend to have, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And also, they did show some of the HUD presets within the leaked gameplay footage, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with it, at least for what they showed in multiplayer. We don't know what it's gonna look like in zombies just yet, but at least in multiplayer, you can adjust a lot of things. They give you like 10 different presets that you can choose from, and some of them kind of give you like classic looks from prior Call of Duty games. For example, one of the HUD presets was literally the same HUD as Black Ops 4 in terms of like the positioning of everything. Obviously, it doesn't completely redesign the HUD to make it look like Black Ops 4. It's just a matter of where the things are placed on the screen. And of course, you can remove stuff as well if you want to take away certain things. I didn't get to see literally every single possible option that they showed, but most of them were there. And it does look like you're going to be able to edit a lot with the HUD, which is great. But I just need to see how it's going to be in zombies, because zombies needs to get it right. And there's so many specific little things they have to do to make it right. But we'll have to wait and see. I have no idea if they're going to nail that or not. And then lastly, let's just talk about the actual gameplay itself. There was some gameplay footage against bots. There was even some gameplay being streamed on Twitch just a little bit ago, and they were showing a lot of footage. So there was a full look at the time to kill, which looks really solid. The movement all looks really solid. The score streaks look really solid. They used a couple of them. There was the chopper gunner, which looks amazing. There was the Hellstorm missile, which also looked amazing, as well as the RCXD. All that looked really cool. Very happy about that. I'm excited to try it out as well. I was also happy to see that the chopper gunner was 1600 score, which is a lot of score to get, and I'm glad that we have some high tier streaks in this game. Hopefully there's ones even higher than that. I want to see streaks that go up to like 2000 score. Even 2500 would be pretty cool, but I don't know if they're going to go that high. The actual movement itself looks fantastic. It was kind of hard to tell exactly what was going on in the gameplay because you're watching Twitter compressed gameplay of PlayStation 4 footage. It's just really bad, but the actual just movement itself, you can tell it looks fluid. It looks solid, and I cannot wait to try it myself with the beta at the end of August. So we're only a couple weeks away, by the way. We're close to COD Next, we're close to the Black Ops 6 beta, and of course I'll be covering it with all sorts of videos and live streams as well for multiplayer, zombies, campaign, and Warzone. So I will see you guys all in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.